What's the one thing you need to know to excel as a leader? You can pierce the complexity and identify one core insight, one controlling insight, if you like, that if you forget everything else about leading or managing, you shouldn't forget that one core insight.
When it comes to the science of success, there's one name you need to know: Marcus Buckingham.
We are overwhelmed with information. It's a world of excess access. And it occurred to me that the real challenge of being successful in this world is not a function of how much of that you can retain, so much as what are the very few things you must never forget.
Marcus Buckingham is a best-selling author, a highly sought-after speaker, and a valued consultant to many of the Fortune 500 companies.
All the research I've been a part of is the one thing that every great manager seems to know. Find out what is unique about a person and capitalize on it.
After receiving a master's degree from Cambridge University in 1987, Marcus Buckingham joined the Gallup Organization, where he spent 17 years studying the world's best managers and workplaces. Now he's distilled that information into a set of key insights that is helping thousands make the leap to excellence.
I want to share with you some data that suggests that although we know it's important to engage, there's a whole nother level up here. Hi, everybody. I'm going to speak to you, sir, right up there. Here's what you need to do as a leader. Be clear. Be clear. Clarity is the antidote to anxiety. So clarity is the preoccupation of the great leader. If you're nothing else as a leader, be clear.
Everybody's talking about Marcus Buckingham. His revolutionary ideas have been featured in major media around the world, including Fortune, the New York Times, USA Today, and Fast Company. His numerous TV appearances include CNN, CNBC, and Good Morning America.
Do you have an opportunity at your work to do what you do best every day? That's probably the best question that you can ask yourself to work out if you're in a job that fits you.
You sound pretty good at this.
You know, the old cliche about building teams is that there's no I in team. But as Michael Jordan was once quoted as saying, there is in win.
Marcus Buckingham, the one thing you need to know.
And the future of any community of people. Go study their heroes. You want to understand the future of Great Britain, my country? Go hang out in any history class or read any history textbook and you'll find that we keep banging on about 3 battles. The Charge of the Light Brigade, Dunkirk, and the Battle of Britain. And there's nothing that remarkable about that. Every country has their mythical army exploits. You know, the Russians have Stalingrad and America has the, Washington crossing the Delaware. What's remarkable, though, about our 3 battles in Britain is that we didn't win any of them. We lost 2, and the third one, the Battle of Britain, could generously be declared a tie. So if we didn't win them, why do we keep talking about them all the time? Why? Because they embody the core strength that, right or wrong, we believe is the epitome of our character. We may not win, we Brits, but boy, we'll never give up. No matter how tough the fight, we as Churchill would say, we will never surrender. We will fight them on the beaches. We are, if you like, we are the Avis of nations. We try harder. We're about the least competitive nation you could possibly imagine. Contrast that with the US. You guys are the most competitive nation you could possibly imagine. How do I know this? Because you measure everything. Competitors love scores and metrics, because if you can measure it, you can compare it. And if you can compare it, you can compete. And if you can compete, you can win. Just go read your sports pages in the newspapers. In Britain, the sports pages are filled with long stories of heroism and daring do, which usually end up just the wrong side of victory. With you guys, you've got, what have you got? You've got columns and rows and scores, and it's just, if you're not careful, you wind up confusing the sports section with the business section, for crying out loud. Actually, I first realized this because when I first came to the United States, I was sent to Lincoln, Nebraska for my sins. And I'm joking. Let me just start with what I think we would probably all agree on. Regardless of whatever work you do, whether it's your spiritual work, your work at life, your work at workplaces, probably all of you would agree that if you can build the kind of organizations that find, keep, employ, engage, develop the best people, I mean, if you can really do that, not just say that, but actually execute that, then you'll have built for your organization a sustainable edge. I mean, in the business world, it's a sustainable competitive edge. The wonderful thing about a culture is that it's so complicated. It's made up of so many different actions and interactions between employee to employee, employee to manager, manager to leader, that if you've really built a strong one, I mean a truly powerful one, then no one can steal it. All they can do is envy it, look over the wall and wonder what on earth it is that you're doing to get people so engaged. With that in mind, I want to share just 2 things with you this afternoon. One, I want to share with you some data that suggests that although we know it's important to engage, there's a whole nother level up here. Who knew that? Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm going to speak to you, sir, right up there. Prepare, prepare, prepare. You know, they always say that, don't they? With that in mind, two things. One, I'm going to share with you data which suggests that although we know it's important to engage our people, we actually do kind of a rotten job of it, both here in the United States and around the world. That's at least according to the people that are supposed to be engaged. Second, and most importantly, of course, I want to offer some explanations as to what we can do differently in order to do a better job of really engaging our folks. Okay, let's start with managing. Let's just first agree on what a manager does, by the way. What does a great manager do? Do they build teams? Do they enforce quality, build standards, set standards, ensure good customer? What does a manager do? Well, from all the managers I've had the great good fortune to interview, I would distill it down to this. This is the chief responsibility of a manager. That's the job of a manager. A great manager turns one person's talent into performance. If you're good as a manager, you're good because people work harder for you than they would for somebody else. If they don't work harder for you than they would for someone else, get out of management. You're in the way. The analogy here is that a manager's job is a catalyst job. If you're good as a manager, it's because you speed up the reaction between the talent of the employee and the goals or the mission of the organization. If you do that well, you're a great manager. Yes, you might build good teams and you might ensure good customer service and so on, but those are outcomes. The starting point is the talent of the employee, and your thoughts, your focus is about how to set that employee up for success. What was your best day at work in the last 3 months? You want to find out someone's strengths? Ask that question. Because remember, a strength isn't just something you do well. A strength is something that strengthens you to do it again and again and again. So if you want to get obliquely, because if you just say to someone, what's your strength? I mean, it's very hard to answer. Many of us are so close to, we're like the New Yorker who no longer hears the sirens or the horns. You're so close to your own strengths, you take them for granted, don't you? So ask someone, what's your best day at work in the last 3 months? What were you doing? Why did you love it? Of course, the corollary to that, how can you repeat it? To know about a person's weaknesses, flip the question around. What was your worst day at work in the last 3 months? What were you doing? Why did it drain on you as much as it did? How can we avoid it? Because remember, a weakness isn't just something you don't do well. You may actually do some things quite well that are weaknesses. Why? Because they weaken you. They frustrate you or bore you or drain you. For triggers, try this one. What was the best manager relationship you've ever had? Or the follow-up, what made it so good? You'll learn a lot about what that manager did with the person to be able to get them to accelerate and deploy their strengths so effectively. What was the best manager relationship you ever had? How about this one? What was the best recognition you ever had? I don't know, maybe you know that answer to all the people that you work with, but if you don't, ask it. Otherwise you might be giving out plaques to people that are endlessly out-plaqued. They had enough plaques by the time you gave them the first one. What was the best recognition you had? Whatever made it so good. And in terms of style of learning, try this one. It's pretty straightforward. When in your career did you learn the most? Why? What was happening? How were you learning? What is the chief responsibility of a leader? Do they set the values? Do they define the vision? Do they ensure the integrity of the organization? What's the job of a leader? Well, from all the research that I've been a part of, I would narrow it down to this. The job of a leader is this: to rally people to a better future. To rally people to a better future. And the key two words, I suppose, in that definition are better future. If you are a leader, and many of you I'm sure are in this room, that's why you're here, or at one of the downlink sites, that's why you came. But if you are a leader, it's because you are deeply, deeply optimistic. You see the present and you see what could be, you see the future, and the friction between the what could be and the what is drives you on and spurs you forward. You're a deeply, deeply optimistic person. I'm not suggesting you're a naive idealist. I mean, most of the most effective executives I've talked to are willing to look at the present reality right in the eye. In stressing optimism, nor am I suggesting that every great leader has a perennially sunny disposition. Some of them are in good moods all the time, but some of them aren't. And some of them, like Winston Churchill and Abraham Lincoln, even struggle with depression. My point in emphasizing optimism is simply that no matter how bleak the present or how bleak their mood, they never let their innate optimism that things can get better become deflated and overwhelmed. People should buy this book if they want to know the one thing they need to know about excellence, about success, whether it be as an individual, as a manager, or as a leader. They should buy this book if they want to get to the core. They want to get to the heart of the matter. This book delivers that. This book's all about that. I happen to be fascinated by this notion there is this one thing, and I've tried to put all of that research, all that fascination in this book.